Now that you are in a deep trance, we are going to give you a trigger, or reinforce it if you already have it. The trigger consists of the phrase "I will now play," the name or description of a species or character, and then the phrase "TF," the game. If you use this trigger, you will experience the events and effects relating to the game that is about to be described. Also, if you use the deactivation phrase "I no longer want to play the TF game," the game will stop, but you will still be in whatever state you are in, whether that be fully yourself, a mix of yourself and something else, or fully something else. Additionally, the game will stop and you will instantly turn back into your real self if you use the reset phrase "I want to be my real self again." Furthermore, you can summon the entity that appears to play the game with you outside of the game by using the summoning phrase "Summon the Game Master," and you can cause it to go away by using the removal phrase "Be gone, Game Master." Now the events and effects relating to the game will be described. First, when you use the trigger phrase, it will become ineffective until the game has ended. In that same instant, the Game Master will appear near you. They will be the same species or character that you described when using the trigger phrase. The Game Master will have a personality that you enjoy and communicate with you in order to determine if you know how to play the game. If you indicate that you don't know how to play the Game Master will communicate to you the following explanation of the game's rules, the following explanation perfectly describing how the game works. When you start the game, I, the Game Master and Chaser, will indicate that the game has started and stay still for 30 seconds. After that, I will start to chase you. Physically speaking, I am equal to you in almost every way. The only difference is that I am 15% faster than you are. Also, I can only interact with walls, ceilings, floors, and you, and will phase through everything else. Although I am faster than you, there is a way for you to get ahead of me. You will be able to create barriers by focusing on the area that you want to create a barrier in, and then imagining a barrier being there. The barriers will be blue and hollow, and while their edges aren't at all transparent, the rest of them will be mostly transparent. I will be able to break these barriers by using my strength and abilities. The more you focus on a barrier, the stronger it will be, and smaller barriers will require less focus to make stronger than larger barriers will. However, if you lose focus on a barrier for more than a second, it will weaken to the point where walking into it could destroy it. Also, although you can normally make as many barriers as you want, you will become incapable of making them again for 10 seconds if I destroy one. Additionally, you can make any barrier disappear instantly by desiring for it to be removed. Barriers will also disappear on their own if you don't focus on them for 5 consecutive seconds. Luckily for you, you will only lose your ability to create barriers if I destroy them, and you won't lose your ability to create them if you make them disappear or if they disappear on their own. Another aspect of the game is that we will be able to sense where each other is. Also, for the purposes of this game, your body is made of 6 parts. They are your left arm, hand, and side of your torso. Your right arm, hand, and side of your torso. Your left leg and foot. Your right leg and foot. The front, back, top, and bottom sides of your torso. And your neck and head. When I touch one of these parts of your body, that part will become my equivalent of that, so if I touch your left arm and hand will become just like my left arm and hand, or the closest thing that I have to it. Additionally, if I have other limbs on the section of your body that I touch, you will develop those as well. Likewise, if I don't have anything like what you have in the section of your body that I touch, those things will go away. Of course, your body won't actually change, but you will perceive it as being changed and be completely unaware that it hasn't. In order to prevent you from having the issues that arise from not being able to properly perceive your body, you will act as you would if you were your real self whenever you interact with anything that is real, and you will be unable to understand any logic when it is applied in a way that directly suggests that you are acting like you have the body of your real self instead of the body that you perceive yourself as having. Furthermore, while you will perceive yourself as gaining my abilities as I transform you, for example, if I were something that could sense its surroundings with its eyes closed and breathe fire, your use of those abilities will just be a result of your brain doing its best to emulate them. You will be completely unaware of this and not be able to understand any logic when it is applied in a way that directly suggests that your abilities do not function as they would if they were real. Moreover, you will never use your abilities in a situation where there could be a risk to your physical body or your well-being, a risk to your social or professional life, a risk to your mental health, or if your ability to deal with an emergency to the best of the abilities of your real self would be reduced if your non-real self abilities were to suddenly stop working or give you extremely misleading information. Also, one of the rules of the game is that when I touch you, I will stop restricting your movement if I currently am, and stay in place for 20 seconds. Once those 20 seconds are up, the chase will be on again. Finally, the way that I win is by fully transforming you into the same species or character that I am, and the way that you win is by staying at least partially your real self for 8 minutes. However, the time when I am not moving does not count towards those 8 minutes, and you will stay in whatever fully, partially, or not at all transformed state that you are in when the game ends, or fully turn into the same species or character that I am if you win, and that is what you want. What I have just described is the default game mode. After explaining the game to you, the Game Master will communicate with you in order to determine if you now understand how to play the game. If you indicate that you don't understand how to play the Game Master will communicate with you in order to determine what you don't understand and do their best to help you understand however many rules of the game that you don't, restating and clarifying things as many times and for as long as is needed, never becoming impatient or frustrated with you not understanding what they are trying to explain to you. Once you tell the Game Master that you understand how to play the game, they will communicate with you in order to determine if you understand how to make and select game modes. If you indicate that you don't know how to change and make game modes, the Game Master will communicate the following explanation to you, the explanation describing how to make and change game modes with complete accuracy. If you ask me what game modes there are, I will communicate to you that there is the default game mode, as well as the names of the other game modes that you have created. If you want to make your own game mode, you just need to tell me that you want to, and I will communicate with you in order to determine what you want it to be like. By default, your custom game mode will be just like the default one. However, you can change it in whatever way you want. For instance, you could change how fast and strong I am, how long I wait before I start chasing you, how much of you gets transformed when I catch you, what abilities I am allowed to use, how strong your barriers are and how hard they are to maintain, and anything else that you can think of. You can even add your own rules. For example, you could make it so that I am faster or slower depending on what surface I am on, or make it so that doing something will change part of you back into your real self. Once you are done creating a game mode, you just have to tell me that you have finished designing it and its name, and you will be able to play using that game mode. However, my memory in relation to game modes will only be as good as yours, so you might want to write down the names and descriptions of game modes that you come up with if you intend to play them again. Additionally, you can change how the game goes by asking me to do things. For instance, you can ask me to go easy or hard on you, you can ask me not to use my abilities much, and you can ask me to do or not do other things that you think of. After the Game Master gives you this explanation, they will communicate with you in order to determine if you understand how to make and choose game modes. If you indicate that you don't understand how to do those things, they will communicate with you in order to determine what you don't understand and do their best to explain it to you. Like with the previous explanation, they will never get annoyed, frustrated, or impatient with you no matter how many times they have to repeat and clarify things. If you indicate that you do understand their previous explanation, they will communicate with you in order to determine if you want to make or select a game mode. If you choose to make a game mode, they will communicate with you in order to determine if you want to select a game mode or make another one once you are done. Once you have selected a game mode, the Game Master will communicate with you in order to determine if you are ready to play. If you indicate that you are, the game will begin. If you indicate that you aren't ready, they will communicate to you that they are ready when you are, and that they are still willing to explain to you anything that you don't understand, and that you can still make a new game mode or change the current one. What they do next will be appropriate for what you indicate you want to do or have explained. Once a game has been finished, the Game Master will disappear, but as has already been stated, they can be summoned by using the summoning phrase "summon the Game Master." When you do, the Game Master will appear. The first time that you summon the Game Master, they will communicate with you in order to determine what name you want to give them if you have not already given them one while playing with each other. Once you have given them one, or if you already have given them one, they will do whatever you want. However, their actions will be limited by the fact that the only physical object that they can interact with is you, and the fact that they can only physically affect any part of you with as much force in any direction as your muscles can apply. Also, the game master will have no memories of the time between when a game ends or you make them go away, and when you next summon them by using their summoning phrase or the trigger phrase to make them appear for the game. Additionally, the game master will never feel bad or be unhappy with you if you make them go away when they don't want to. Finally, the effects of this hypnosis file will become inactive if they could be an immediate risk or are a risk to your physical body or your well-being, if they could be an immediate risk or are a risk to your social or professional life, if there is an emergency that they would prevent you from dealing with to the best of the abilities of your real self, or if they are a risk to your mental health. Also, the effect of this hypnosis file that was an issue will become active again once it no longer will be one. Now you have this fun new trigger. This file is almost over, so goodbye. I hope that you have fun playing my game.